Hey, thanks for joining another episode of Intentional Success. I get it. Most people don't want to deal with their insurance, but the one time you're really glad that you have it is right after an accident when you have to file a claim. And I've gotten this question several times over the past week. Jackson, when I get in a car crash, what's that step? And the reason that I got thinking about this is some of these calls are from people who are on the scene of an accident, and you're just frazzled. You got a lot of stuff going on. So I want to just spell out a couple of best practices. I did some research to make sure that everyone who knows me knows what to do in these situations and put themselves in the best spot to get the money they deserve back from their insurance carrier. So, what we're looking at here is just really a handful of steps to be in the best situation possible. First, get to safety, get your car out of the way of traffic, get your hazard lights on. From there, check everyone in your car. Make sure that your passengers are safe, nobody's hurt. If that's good, check with the other car, that driver, their passengers, make sure that they're okay. If someone is hurt, even a minor injury, big bruises, broken bones, call the emergency rescuers right away, get them involved. We want to address any injuries as quickly as possible. I get the questions a lot, do we have to call the cops? If there are injuries or if there are damage, you're going to want to get the cops involved. And here's kind of those benchmarks for how to understand that. When there is a major accident, your vehicle, their vehicle, not drivable, this is when cops need to be involved. They're going to fill out an accident report. If you are calling because one of the vehicles won't be able to be driven, this is also a really good time to call the tow truck and get that process started. Now, there are carriers, one of whom, which I work with, pays for the tow truck. It pays for the rental car if your car is damaged in a claim. So it's really important to know who you're working with, who your broker is, and what type of amenities you're getting from your insurance program. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's get back to the scene of the accident. Hey, maybe it's not a really bad mashup, but there is some damage. You're going to at least want to let the cops know that there was a accident with damage involved. If no one's hurt and it's not significant damage, the cops might not come out, but at least that's the beginning of your incident report, and it's documentation for the county. That third piece is, hey, just a quick bump, no one's hurt, no one's injured. If both parties are positive they're not going to want to file a claim, no need to call the cops. You can go on your own way. Just know if you make that choice, it's going to be really difficult to file a claim on the back end. So if you have any inkling that you're going to want to get your insurance involved, you're going to want to gather the right information. So in Wisconsin, the law is if there's less than $1,000 in damage, you don't need to get the cops involved. But if you are going to file a claim, you're going to want to gather the right information. So what that looks like is making sure you have the other person's name, their phone number, their email address, the insurance carrier they work with, their policy number, and if the cops are on site, you're going to want to be sure to get their badges and their badge numbers and a business card from them. While you're there, take as many pictures as you can, both of the damage to your vehicle and to the other person's vehicle and to the scene to help tell that story. I'm really glad I did some research because I found out that there are a few things to be aware of. If someone is only asking for a driver's license and an address and nothing else, if it's a smaller accident, this might be a play for identity theft. So just know this is the information that should be shared. This doesn't need to be. Rounding things out here, self-document. Take a little bit of time with yourself to write down what happened so you can remember the story well when you're talking with insurance carriers weeks or months later. And call your insurance carrier right away. Let them know, hey, I had an accident, I'll probably be filing a claim, and give them all the things we just talked about so they can get that process rolling and get you back on your feet as quickly as possible. Jackson, you haven't talked about Elevated. How do we fit in? Well, throughout all this, we are in your corner. Elevated Insurance is an independent insurance agency, which means that we work for our clients and we choose which carriers we're going to work with. So through this whole process, our carriers are our friend, right? We want to work with them and make sure they have all the information they need. But if there comes a time when you don't like the way things are going, you don't understand what the timeline is, this is where I come in as the quarterback. I'm that go-between and make sure that you have a great insurance experience. So the big takeaways are make sure everyone's safe, gather the right information, and get the cops involved if there's damage. I'm here to help wherever I can, and it might be giving these steps to you on the scene of an accident. So if you know anyone who needs better coverage, needs a better insurance broker, this is my information. I hope no one ever has to use this, but this is the best practices. And as always, insure differently.